Hello, friends. I don't know for sure if any of you guys have been checking the news lately on anything. But the other day we were watching something and it came across Facebook or something. I'm not for sure how it even got to us. But I know a lot of people don't like Tucker Carlson, and that's completely fine, and so on and so forth. But he was having like a little spiel on the impending possible um, diesel shortage. Okay. Well, diesel doesn't affect most people, or they think it doesn't affect most people. It will directly affect us if it affects truck drivers because my husband is a truck driver and that is one of our main sources of income. So it's going to definitely affect us as far as, if they don't have the loads or um, anything that could go on. But a lot of people don't realize, and this is not a fear mongering, this is not anything to scare people or to put fear in people, because I'm not about that, because I have enough of my own irrational fears. Um, However, people do not realize that without trains, trucks, boats, ships, planes, stuff does not get delivered. Okay. And most of the things that get delivered to the stores do happen by semi, which are all done by diesel fuel. Okay. They were also having a shortage on DEF fluid, and I don't know for sure if that's been fixed or not. However, I've been thinking about this all weekend long since I heard about that video, and I wrote down some stuff, and I'm here at my desk because I didn't want to print out the paper, but I did write down some stuff that a lot of people can actually maybe start to have, and it don't go crazy like people did with the toilet paper thing a couple years back, but definitely gonna have some toilet paper on stock. But anyways, I wrote down some things. A manual can opener. Definitely try to have as much preps of foods that your family will eat. Okay. Try to have other fuel sources, because they are saying, along with the um, diesel fuel, that a lot of places are not going to have the heat for the winter. Okay. And now that it's getting cold, that's something that obviously is something that is going to affect a lot of us unless you happen to live in a warmer climate. And so obviously have your fuel sources of different types. Now, I believe it was last year. I think, I don't know. I get so confused. I think it was last year when Texas had that really bad ice storm. And I kept seeing online that people actually would buy a tent and their family would sleep in the tent at night inside the house, if you hopefully have enough room in your house. We bought a small tent that's just big enough for just the two of us, and, well, obviously the cat too. So that way, if we do have to move to one of the rooms, if there is heat, we have 3 fireplaces that are gas fireplaces. So hopefully, if there's not electric in the house, because all that is affected, I'm saying it could affect electric, it could affect, the grid, who knows what's going to happen. So this way you can at least sleep when it could be a little bit warmer. It's not going to be warm, but you're going to be in a tent versus, just in the open space of your house. Obviously stock up on as much food as possible, as often as possible. Don't go out there and, don't be taking out all these loans and going crazy and just buying everything in sight. Don't panic buy like that. But if you haven't been already stocking up, start to stock up. Keep your gas car, try to always keep your gas on full. I don't know for sure what good that's going to do. I don't know for sure if it's going to help anything, but I always try to keep mine full. It doesn't always happen, but I try really hard to. Even if you have to go and get some of these things at the dollar store, like flashlights, the lighters. A lot of times people don't think about it, but we have had to do this because a few years ago when we were living in Eagle, there was an ice storm, and it actually took out part of our power. Well, we like lights, and there's always just tons and tons of solar lights out in our yard. So that night we had to physically go outside and go grab our solar lights outside and bring them in so you could walk around, because we weren't prepared. So don't be like us and try to be a little bit prepared. But I mean, obviously set them back out during the day, bring them in at night, and so on and so forth. Definitely keep your batteries in stock for your flashlights or anything that you might need. Water, and I cannot stress that enough. Try to have as much clean drinking water as possible. Your meds. A lot of people don't think about that because they go from month to month on their meds. Even if it's over-the-counter meds, try to make sure you try to stock up on that. Your first aid stuff, Band-Aids and first aid creams and whatever happens you need. Obviously, don't forget your toilet paper. Ways to wash clothes. What I was watching on one of my channels that I follow, and she had like a bucket, and she had like a toilet plunger, and I guess you can wash clothes that way. So I'm going to start looking up ways to alternatively wash our clothes, because obviously, if the power does go down, there may not be the water, and if it is water, is it clean water? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you're not going to probably be able to take the showers like you normally would. You wouldn't be able to, wash your clothes like you normally would, and everything like that. Then obviously, make sure you have a lot of warm clothes. That it's something that, I mean, if you have to layer through the house, if you have to have your heat down lower to be able to have the heat on, you're going to have to dress warmer, obviously. Try to have cash on hand. And it's not like I'm trying to fearmonger or anything like that. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the power grids. I don't trust politicians. I don't trust doctors. I don't trust a lot of people. I have trust issues. But definitely try to have some cash on hand, because I don't know for sure if that's ever affected you, and it has directly affected us. This was years and years ago. But, we had a business, and we had deposited money, a large amount of money. And we went to go take my daughter and her, then at that time, her boyfriend, out to the movies. She was like 11. And obviously it was chaperoned, because I don't trust boys. So anyways, we couldn't get the money out of the ATM. I mean, there was hundreds, probably even thousands of dollars, and we could not access any of that money. So obviously try to always keep some cash at home if you have any cash. This is not about GUNS or anything like that, but is there ways to protect yourself in any shape or form? Think about that. A lot of people don't think about this when they're prepping their stuff, but what about your fur animals, or your birded animals, or feathered animals, or whatever have you? I don't know about you. Our cat has been incredibly picky, and he doesn't like to eat a lot of things, and so on and so forth. So buying food and keeping food here that he'll actually eat is like really hard to do. And, he's getting 18, and not every person has their cat at their end of their stage of their life like we do. But there's stack up food for your cats and your dogs and whatever animal that you might have. This might sound crazy. I have obviously grandkids. They're not my biological grandkids, but it's my daughter's sister's children. And, usually when they come over with their own diaper wipes. Now, you can make your own diaper wipes, and you can look at that up on Pinterest or YouTube or whatever have you. But you can buy a lot of diaper wipes, and they're pretty cheap. I mean, I have, I think, 4 cases of diaper wipes, because if there is no water, you're going to feel gross, so you can at least do a wipe down of your body, especially your privates and the places that you definitely want to keep clean, with diaper wipes. That way, you can feel cleaner even if there is not the water source. Definitely, if you're a reader or whatever, Amazon a lot of times gives away free books, and you can download some like on your tablet, depending on how much room you have on your tablet and so on and so forth, of audiobooks and audiobooks and regular books. So if there was not power, you could actually maybe keep yourself busy with reading books, or your paperback books or whatever have you. And then obviously what you're going to want to do is, if there is a craft you want to learn, and if there is no power, there is no internet. So can you print out or get in a book form or somehow so you can actually have that there? Do you actually have like board games or anything to pass the time? Because if no one's working, because there's no diesel to have stores open, or no power to, like I work from home, but if I have no power, means I have no internet, which means I can't work. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get bored really quick, really fast. And, so definitely try to have some things that you could think of. Obviously, this is just a small, very small list. But if you can think of things that that you've personally done, that's maybe other people might need to hear or think of, definitely put that down in the comments. And like I said, this is not to scare anybody, but that is a legit fear. I mean, we all know what the prices of fuel has been this year, and the craziness of the economy and gas prices and the everything like that. So definitely, keep that in mind, keep that in a thought in the front of your head. I guess this is supposed to happen within the next 20-ish days or so. I hope and I pray to God that they are lying. I hope that this does not really happen, because even though I've prepped for years. A lot of people think I'm crazy. Even my daughter thinks I'm crazy. But at the time when it comes, my daughter does not eat my canned goods. She does not eat my freeze-dried food. She's very picky. I feel really bad because when she was younger, I didn't have a good garden. I didn't do any of this stuff. So everything she's learned was either fast food or pre-boxed food, because I didn't cook from scratch back then. And I blame myself. That's definitely my fault. That's how she grew up. I mean, I grew up, my grandparents had a garden and so on. So I got to experience farm fresh stuff, and got to do that, where she obviously hasn't in her life. And that's very sad. But she doesn't stock up. She's got a really nice basement in her new house. If I had her basement, I'd be like, I'd be like buying things like crazy if I could. And she won't prep. I mean, she's maybe got a week or two worth of food in her house, and that includes her freezers. And I have to think in my mind, if we're able to see each other and be able to go to places and things like that, I have to worry about, not only is my prep enough for my husband and I, is my prep enough for my daughter and her husband. And then because her sister lives kitty corner behind me, and it's her sister's kid, her sister, her husband, and their 3 babies. My wonderful neighbor behind me, it's a single woman, but still, she's not prepping. No one is prepping. I mean, they all think I'm crazy, and I hope and pray that I'm crazy, and that I just have an overabundance of food. I know I have some very, maybe not necessarily fears that are logical. I'm heavy. I have not ever starved a day in my life on purpose. That I didn't do myself. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't eat for whatever reasons, fasting or whatever have you. So I have a lot of fears that are not logical in my stuff. So I just don't want to not have food. And my dad was one of those type of people. We had food, but my mom didn't prep, if that makes any sense. I mean, we had food, we didn't starve, but for the family of 4, we may have had enough food in the house any given time, including the freezers, maybe a month, if that. So try, if you can, to have at least a week, if not a month, if not 3 months, if not definitely a year of food and shelter stuff and medicines and whatever that is that you can think of that's going to help keep you and your family safe. So like I said, this is not trying to be fear mongering thing. No, I don't believe the mainstream media as far as that, but you can see the stuff going around. You can see the things if you're on certain groups on Facebook and such. So, do as you can. I hope and pray that you guys are all going to be very safe and everything during this whole winter, during this next season of, our president keeps saying it's going to be a dark winter. I don't know what that means. I mean, obviously it wasn't last year, but it doesn't mean it's not for this year. So it's looking more like it would happen this year versus last year. So just be safe, be careful, be mindful. Try to think of the things that's going to help keep you and your family safe and fed, and definitely don't stock food that you guys won't eat. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to have like the 3-course meals and the 3 meals per day, possibly, if things go amok. But at least if, maybe if you like rice or pasta, and you could add that to like a can of soup or something to that effect to stretch that further, because you probably won't be eating like you normally used to. So like I said, it's not to put fear out there, because there's enough fear and craziness going on in the world. This has been in the back of my mind this whole weekend, and I'm doing what I can with what financial ability I have to be able to stock up and be able to stay warm and fed and to make it through this next area of our lives. So thank you very much for stopping by. You have a very blessed and wonderful day.